This weekend's British Grand Prix is a vital one for Ferrari. For the first time in over a decade, the grandstands at one of F1's most iconic circuits won't be filled with the silver and black of Mercedes. They'll be bright red as the British public get behind Lewis Hamilton in his pursuit of a 10th victory at his home circuit. A few weeks ago, the chances of Hamilton achieving that seemed basically zero, but a surprising show of strength in Austria has allowed a hint of optimism into the team. But where did that performance at the Red Bull Ring come from? How was Hamilton suddenly so happy with his car? Well, today, I'll check it out, so don't go anywhere. Lewis Hamilton returns to his home Grand Prix this weekend, but with a twist that few expected to ever see happen. He'll be wearing red. The 7-time world champion heads to Silverstone for the 2025 British Grand Prix in Ferrari's racing red SF25, a change which adds significance to this race for both driver and team. The Britain's bond with Silverstone is immortalised in its very tarmac, with the stretch between Club and Abbey named Hamilton Straight, a rare and fitting tribute to his influence on the sport. Silverstone has always been more than just a track for me, Hamilton said of his homecoming. I've had some of the most unforgettable highs with the crowd right there behind me, but coming here with Ferrari for the first time is something really special. Against all the odds, Hamilton managed to pull off a shock win at Silverstone last season. Mercedes in 2024 were nowhere near a race win until the Austrian Grand Prix, where George Russell made the most of Verstappen and Norris's collision to take a win. There are parallels to Ferrari's 2025 season to be found. Like Mercedes last year, Ferrari haven't been able to challenge for race wins. Setup problems and compromises have held them back, but in Austria, it looked like they started to find the solution to the puzzle. Hamilton is heading into his home race off the back of that competitive showing in Austria, where Ferrari showed signs of renewed form after introducing upgrades to the SF25 Challenger. Team principal Fred Vasseur, who will resume his duties after missing last weekend's race in Austria following the passing of his mother, is optimistic that Silverstone could offer another step forward. After Austria, we move on to Silverstone, a very different type of circuit and one of the real classics, the Frenchman said in the Scuderia's British Grand Prix preview. The upgrades we introduced on the SF25 in Spielberg certainly played some part in our good result last Sunday, and we want to capitalise on that positive momentum going into this next race. While upgrades are important for finding performance in F1, the difference that a wrong setup can make is massive. Too much ride height, too much travel in the suspension, a click or two of wing angle off the optimum. All of it can be the difference between pole position and not making Q3. In Austria, Ferrari arrived with a significant floor update as they continue to search for some of the inherent performance that they believe lays dormant in this year's car. The changes that have been made are wide-reaching too, and whilst they haven't strayed dramatically from the design choices that had already been in place, there's alterations being made to many of the key performance regions. It's impossible to see many sections of the floor, and unless one of the Ferraris pulls a Joe Guan Yu this weekend, we probably won't get to see them either. But the team have confirmed there are significant changes throughout the underside of the car. What we can see though is significant change to the floor edges that stretch the whole length of the car. The team has also announced that the volume of the diffuser has been altered in order to take advantage of the upstream adjustments, with the most obvious visual aspect of that alteration shown in the revisions to the pinch section in the upper corner of the diffuser. The changes are a further optimization of those made when Ferrari introduced their last development package for the floor at the Bahrain Grand Prix, with their efforts likely once again focused on improving the aerodynamic response to ride height fluctuations, which has been an issue in the early part of the season. Those ride height troubles are what led to the embarrassing double disqualification in China. Hamilton managed to win the sprint race from pole position on the Saturday of the race, but was disqualified on Sunday due to plank wear infringements, indicating that his car was running much lower than it would have been able to over a full race distance during the shorter sprint race. While the changes to the floor have helped with the ride height problems, the real solutions have been found in how the drivers actually handle the car out on track. Following the Austrian Grand Prix, Ted Kravitz has claimed that the Ferrari drivers have been instructed by the team to lift and coast at the end of the straights to protect the skid blocks from excessive wear and minimize the risk of further disqualifications. When the drivers lift and coast at the end of straights, it's normally to try and save fuel or to help with the cooling of the tires and brakes. However, Ferrari have been using it to help keep their car settled. When a driver goes straight off the accelerator and onto the brakes, the car rocks forward on the suspension. By lifting off the accelerator and coasting before the end of the straight, the engine and aerodynamics start to reduce the speed, and when the Ferrari drivers do hit the brakes, the rock forward is much less aggressive. Appearing on Sky F1, Kravitz said, "Charles was told to lift and coast at all places. Leclerc replied, 'I am Brian, I am,' which will become another instant team radio classic in F1. The reason they have to do this is that they have this problem with their ride heights, whereby they can't run the car on heavy fuel as low as they want. So one way to mitigate all of that, rather than just jacking the car up and having a nightmare, is that early on in the race, and Lewis alluded to this even though he said that Ferrari don't want us to talk about it, they asked them at the end of the straights not to have it at the highest velocity when the downforce is pushing the car's plank into the ground. They asked the drivers to lift and coast just so the car comes up a bit and it can just glide into the corners. It's to protect, we believe, the ride height, the floor, the plank of the car. It is far from a perfect solution. Any time spent not on the accelerator or brake is wasted lap time. But the performance gained from being able to run the car lower to the ground more than offsets the time lost from that lift and coast. It is a big compromise, but if it's working for them, then that's all that matters. There is still more to come from Ferrari yet this season. But before I talk about that, if you're enjoying the video and want to catch more news and analysis from this F1 season, then make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to F1 Reverse. Thanks a lot. Hamilton has had to suffer while settling in at Ferrari. Learning the new car has not been easy for him, but in Austria, it finally started looking like he was ready to make the most of the car Ferrari had built. "I'll just keep working at it," said Hamilton of his form after the race. "I feel like I made progress this weekend. I was less than a tenth off Charles in qualifying, and we found a problem through qualifying with the brakes where I lost a tenth, so that's positive. I've just got to find some pace for the race, but definitely improving." While the new floor seems to have definitely helped, Ferrari are hoping to eliminate the lift and coast compromise completely. They have one last big upgrade coming for the season, which could be the breakthrough they need to compete with McLaren. At the Belgian Grand Prix, the long-awaited new rear suspension, which is aimed at improving some of the car's characteristics under braking, will finally be available for the team. It has been in the works since the start of the season, but Ferrari have continuously delayed it. But before the end of the month, Hamilton and Leclerc will finally have the finished product of the 90% change car that Ferrari wanted to field this season. If the upgrade turns out to be effective, then they could disturb the McLaren battle at the front, which didn't seem likely just a few races ago. If it works, it will be an incredible turnaround for Ferrari and Hamilton, who've seemed well off the pace all season. If it doesn't work, well, that'll be the end of the upgrades for this season, and we can all start to think about 2026 instead. Do you think Hamilton has any chance of a win this weekend? Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and until next time, drive safe and bye for now.